is reminded of this wonderful incident in Ramayana where Jatayu, if you remember, tried to save Mother Sita as she was being kidnapped by Ravana in the airplane. Jatayu used to be very powerful. He was the king of the vultures. But by the time he was actually at that point, he was very old. And Ramayana tells us that he was practically retired. But when he saw Sita Mata actually shouting and screaming for help, he could not help but come to her rescue. He did not have the strength of youth. He didn't have the ability to fight like he did. But he did it out of duty. And he felt that even though victory would not be his, he thought that it was more important to perform the action than to be attached to the result. So he worked very hard and he fought very hard with Ravana. And if you read Ramayana, you realize that in the battle, he was so powerful that actually Ravana at some point was actually pushed back. But eventually Ravana was so powerful that he just cut off the wings of Jatayu, and Jatayu fell. When Ram and Lakshman were looking around frantically for Mother Sita, when they came to the spot where Jatayu fell and they saw this big bird, which was a vulture, for a while they thought that this was actually a villain or someone who was actually aligned with Ravana. So they approached Jatayu very carefully. But then Jatayu then told them that he tried very hard to save Mother Sita, but he could not. And when Lord Ram heard about Jatayu's failure, but his victory, that he did try very hard to save Sita, Lord Ram blessed him so much because he said that it was not the result that mattered, but it was your attempt that mattered. So Krishna and Lord Ram, they're very kind. They don't look to the outcome of what you do. Success is not defined in the spiritual world like the material world. What Krishna sees is the essence of the devotional mentality of the devotee. If someone is sincere in trying to remember Krishna, they may have so many faults, but Krishna doesn't look to them. Just like Lord Ram did not look to see that Jatayu failed to save Sita, but he saw how he tried to save Sita. And so Lord Ram did something he never did in Ramayana. What did he do? He actually performed the funeral of Jatayu himself. He and Lakshman did the funeral rites for Jatayu just like two sons would do it for their father. And on that day, Ramayana tells us that he cried more for Jatayu than he cried for the separation between him and Sita. So this is a very important principle of devotional service. We don't have to be perfect singers. We don't have to be perfect in anything we do. Krishna is not interested in perfection. He's actually interested in purity.